Prabhupada gives a very nice understanding that we are not the body, we are spirit soul. Give an example of car and driver. See, we all have a very much experience of car and driver, right? Yes. Car, it has a headlights. Similarly, we have eyes. Car has a horn. Similarly, we have a mouth. Our body has a mouth. Car needs a fuel to run. Similarly, our body needs a food to run. So in this way, there are many similarities between car and the body. Car needs a driver. Similarly, body needs a driver. Without driver, car cannot move even an inch. Similarly, body cannot function without a soul. So when we clearly understand these bodily functions, when we observe these bodily functions, then we can understand there is someone more active who is leading these activities in the body, that is spirit soul. Without driver, car cannot move. You may say, no, nowadays we have automatic cars. Yes, automatic cars. We don't need any drivers. Somebody may say like that. Even automated cars needs someone to operate sitting in the office. There are some, I think, electric bikes, they came in between. There will be some parking place at one place, and people, they book app, they install app, they can go to the bike, they start the bike, and they can use and keep it another place. There is where next stop is there, station. Such kind of electric bikes came into the market. But there is an office where they are controlling, where they are just observing. They have kept the sensors where this bike is going, how is he using. All that he knows, they know it. So there is someone who is operating even the automatic cars, automatic bikes. So there is nothing which moves automatically in this world. Everything has someone who is leading it. So just like this body needs a soul to drive, similarly this world needs super soul to lead. World also doesn't happen automatically. The Prakriti doesn't function naturally. The nature doesn't work on itself. Even to function this nature, there is a super soul is required. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a description about this super soul. There are 3 types of super souls. Karanodakashayi Vishnu, one who is also known as Mahavishnu. He is a Paramatma, he is a super soul for whole cosmic creation. From his pores, Brahmandas come up. And each and every Brahmanda, there is a Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. There is a Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. He is lying down on the Garbhodaka ocean. He is a super soul for each Brahmanda. From his Nabi, Brahma comes. From his Nabi, Kamal comes, lotus flower comes, and Brahma comes. Similarly, he expands himself again into Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. This Kshirodakashayi Vishnu is a Paramatma for every living being. In each and every atom is there. Similarly, he is there in our body, super soul. He is there in our body also as a super soul. So here, super soul and soul, they need to function this body. Just by presence of soul also, body is not going to function. There is a need of super soul, definitely, for sure. Soul desires, Paramatma sanctions. Now, in this sloka purport, Prabhupada gives a very description about size of the soul. This is a science. This is not some sentiment. Kaun dekha hai Atma ko? Who has seen the Atma? We cannot see the Atma with these blunt eyes. With this charma chakshu, with these blunt eyes, we cannot see the soul. We see only the body. Just like you cannot see my body because my body is covered with the cloths. You can see only my cloths. But when we go to tailor, he makes dress which is very much suitable for the bodily measurements, right? He takes the measurements of the body, he stitches the shirt, pant, yes, dresses. So he has not seen the body. We have not seen the body. We have seen only the external dresses. Similarly, we have not seen the soul. We cannot see the soul because soul is on spiritual platform, but we are on material platform. Our eyes are completely charma chakshu. It is a bodily platform. We cannot see the soul. But still, Vedic literature, they give a clear-cut information about the size of the soul. Size of the soul. It is very, very minute. You see, can somebody see the size of the corona virus? No. There are many, many insects flying in the air. We cannot see. When we breathe, there are so many bacteria goes into the nose. When we are eating, so many bacteria goes into the mouth. When we exhale, inhale, many bacteria, they die sometimes. So, but we cannot see this bacteria. With these eyes, we cannot see the bacteria. We need a microscope to see it. Similarly, we cannot see more subtle, deeper subtle soul, spirit soul. But Vedic literature, they give measurements of this. It is to make us understand that it is very, very much minute, subtle. Shvetastra Upanishad, some Upanishads like Shvetastra Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, they give the size of these souls. Balagra Shata Bhagasya Shata Dakalpitasya cha Bhago Jiva Vijneya Sa Chanantasya Kalpate. So it is a very much atomic. Yes. So Mundaka Upanishad, it says more clear measurements about the atomic soul. It is a more subtle than atoms. Now science has gone up to see what is there in each matter, molecule. They can see molecule through the microscope. They can see molecules, atoms. But when we see items when we see objects, we cannot see the molecules, structure. But when we go in the chemical organic chemistry, for each and every object there is a chemical formula. Yes. This many molecules of carbon, this many molecules of hydrogen. They give a clear cut. Why? How they got to know? Because they have analyzed. They have seen more closer. That's how they got to know the size of the molecules. The atoms, what are the molecules are there, what are the atoms are there. So, just like a modern science requires more research, modern science requires more patience, more depth study, more analysis to see and understand the molecules and atoms. Similarly, spiritual science, one has to be more intelligent. One has to do more proper study, observation to understand about this Atma. Otherwise, with these naked eyes, we cannot see this Atma. Mundaka Upanishad says, Yesho anur Atma chetasa veditavyo yasmin prana panchada samvivesha pranischittam sarvamotam prajanam yasmin visuddhe vibhavati esha Atma. Soul is in atomic size, which is very, very much subtle. It can be only perceived by the perfect intelligence. Yesho anur Atma chetasa viditavye esmin viditavya. Only perfect intelligence people can see this. Previously we discussed Tattva Darshibi. They can see the soul. But this soul is floating in the body. See, we have given the size of the soul, Kesha, Balagra Shatabhagasya. You cut the 100 parts, 1000 parts of the tip of the hair, again you cut into the 1000 parts, then that is a small size of the soul. Yesterday someone asked a question, Prabhu, how that such a small soul can control whole body? That is a science. We cannot understand. You see, recently COVID virus can shake the whole world. It is surprising, right? So spiritual science is more astonishing, more shocking. So we have given the size of the soul. Now it gives the location of the soul, how it is situated in this body. In the shloka it is said, Avinashi tadvidhi yena sarvam idam tatam. It is spreaded all over the body. Sarvam idam. It is spread all over the body, all over the universe. In the universe, every part, every nook and corner, there is a soul. If I ask you, in your house, how many members are there? You may say, oh, 4 members, Prabhuji, 4 family members, 5 family members. No. There are so many jivas in your house. There are so many souls in your house. Even when you close your fist, there are some jivas in the fist. There is air, right? There is air. Even in the vacuum, there are spirit souls. Can you imagine? Even in the vacuum, there is a spirit souls. There are jivas. That's why the ena sarvam idam tatam is spreaded everywhere. From Mundaka Upanishad, we can see the spirit soul is floating, got stuck up by the 5 airs. Prana, Apana, Vyana, Samana, Udana. These are the 5 airs in our body. We have all these 5 airs in our body. All these 5 airs are situated in our body, throughout our body. Prana, Apana, Vyana, Samana, Udana. All our bodily functions happens because of these air movements. Even to when we are breathing, Prana, Apana, Vyana. Because of Vyana we think. Samana, Udana. So there are these all airs. Some airs flows upwards, some airs flows downwards, some airs flows, maintains equilibrium. If we are able to sit properly, you are balanced, you are able to sit properly because this Udana air is working properly in the body. Samana air. If the Samana air gets imbalanced, then we cannot stand. We just fell down. The spirit soul, the atomic spirit soul is floating in the 5 kinds of airs. The soul is different from pranavayu. So, this soul is floating in all these 5 kinds of airs. Air is floating throughout the body. Similarly, soul is pervaded. Soul is affecting throughout the body. See, Prabhupada gives an example. If I pinch you on your hand, you feel sensation. Yes, somebody is pinching me. Some mosquito sits on your leg, trying to bite, squeeze out some blood. We'll immediately become conscious. Yes, there is some mosquito. So because the soul is pervaded everywhere in the body through the 5 kinds of airs, we have this consciousness. Yes. So otherwise we cannot understand. This is a Shastra's giving clear-cut description. What is the size of the soul? Where this soul is situated? Especially, here in the shloka it is said, Prana panchada samvivesha pranais chittam sarvam otam prajanam. So all is out of it is the soul is floating over these 5 kinds of airs. Especially this soul is situated in the heart. It is situated in the heart. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara sarva bhutana hrideshe arjuna tishtati. Paramatma is also residing in the heart. Yantra rudani mayaya. So Paramatma is also residing in the heart. The spirit soul is also there in the heart. So it is said Paramatma is residing just right side to the heart, right side to the soul, right side on our heart region, which is left side. Soul is there, and right side to the soul, Paramatma is there. There is a description in the same Mundaka Upanishad. In a plant, in a tree, there are two birds trying to taste one bird is trying to taste the fruits. Mundaka Upanishad, there is an analogy comes. So bird is trying to taste the different fruits. See, this is a explanation given. So when we practice yoga process, when we practice hatha yoga like pranayama, all this hatha yoga, then we get released from these all 5 kinds of vayus. We can get control over these 5 kinds of vayus, airs. Then we can realize that I am not this body, I am spirit soul. So it's a great process to realize that I am not the body, I am soul. So science of soul is not just some ordinary mechanics or physics, etc. It is a more deeper science. One must invest time and intelligence to understand this. So Prabhupada gives a nice example, just like I gave in the beginning. Car needs a driver to move. Similarly, this body needs a soul to move. So how to understand, for a common sense, how to understand the presence of soul? It's simple. If the body is conscious, it means there is a soul in it. Consciousness is a deeper science study nowadays in the science field. Consciousness is a very deeper science. Nowadays, psychologists, they are becoming more popular because people nowadays, they have more mental problems than physical problems. But when we go more deeper into that, there is a study of science, study of consciousness. That is more deeper science than psychology. Psychology is a study of mind. But a more deeper science is consciousness. That's why Prabhupada named this society as International Society for Krishna Consciousness. It's a consciousness. The sign of the soul is consciousness. The sign of the soul is consciousness. So when we practice Hatha Yoga, then we understand, okay, this body is functioning not just because of some chemical reactions, more deeper, is not just functioning just because of some vayus, 5 kinds of vayus, not just because functioning just because some social change circumstances, no. It is presence of the atomic soul, the spirit soul. That's why body is able to function. We can see that's consciousness. You see, there is a table. You hit on the table is not going to respond because it is unconscious. It is a matter. But, there is a dog doll. Just hit the dog doll down, just a toy. It is not going to respond. But if you hit your puppy, your dog, it is going to bark, bow, bow, because there is a spirit soul present in the body of the dog. So you have this mobile. If you hit on this mobile, it is not going to respond. But if you hit on somebody, then they are going to respond. There is a sign of soul, that is consciousness. They are going to respond back. So by the process of deeper yoga process, we can understand that I am not this body, I am soul. So that's why Krishna, he suggests Arjuna, hey bhai, we are not this body, we are spirit soul. Yes. So that is a understanding, science of soul. Modern science also coming up with the understanding of this soul, presence of soul. There is a scientist called Evan Stevenson. He has performed many experiments. He has gone to many case studies to understand there is someone more deeper than this body. He has performed many case studies. He has brought up he has written many books also. On this, you can just Google it, near-death experiences. There are many case studies he has given. Out-of-body experiences, past life memories. There was one boy, from childhood onwards, he is getting a dreams, nightmares sometimes. In the mid of the night, he sits up and cries. Suddenly, he makes noise. Tuk, 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 he makes noise. Sometimes he uses some words which he has never come across. This small boy, parents, they were getting shocked. They took him to psychologist. Slowly, psychologist, he did some observations on him, and he started telling his past life story. He was a Russian pilot. In the once upon a time in the war, he was a pilot. He was a soldier, pilot. There was a big war took place, and he died in that war. Now in his childhood, now he is able to recognize different parts of the pilot, different parts of the flights, the aircrafts. He's able to say some names and places of his past life where he come across. So these all case studies got recorded in the book by Stevenson. If you see, there is a great philosopher called Socrates. He was preaching about soul. He was preaching about something beyond government. He was speaking something here and there, but the government, they thought that he is preaching something abnormal against the government. So they warned him, we will catch you, we will keep you in the jail, we will punish you, we will kill you, they said. You know what Socrates said? Socrates said, you can't touch me. How can you, if you cannot touch me, how can you punish me? How can you keep me in jail? How can you kill me? Socrates said, no, great philosopher, he said this. So he has this understanding that you can't touch me means you may touch my body, but you can't touch me because you cannot see me. How can you touch me? If I can see you something, then I can touch it, right? So Socrates said, you cannot see me because I'm spirit soul, something more deeper than this body. You can't even touch me. You cannot even see me. How can you touch me? If you cannot touch me, how can you punish me, kill me, etc.? So he has that understanding, a deeper understanding. So many philosophers, many scientists, many doctors, they have done a test, when the person is going to die in few minutes, they have kept him in a vacuum, complete CC cameras. So there is something light passing by this body. That is soul. People cannot even understand, recognize this with the blunt eyes. That needs a great research. This is also scientific study. It needs a great investment of time and energy. Ordinary people cannot understand this presence of soul. Foolish people, they think, oh, we are not just a body, bunch of chemicals. When we die, everything is finished. No. We are going to continue our existence after the death also. So this is a great science of the soul. One must spend time to understand. But Vedic literature, Krishna is clearly saying this. Why? You are not the body, you are spirit soul. Avinashi tu tadviddi. You should know this. The soul is not going to perish. It is not going to die. It is eternal. Yena sarvam idam tatam. It is spread everywhere in the body, everywhere in the universe. It is there everywhere. But individually, not that you are there everywhere. You are not you pervaded everywhere. You are pervaded only in your body. I am conscious of my body, that's it. But Paramatma, he is a conscious of everything. Yena sarvam idam tatam. Vinasham avyayasyasya nakaschit kartum arhasi. Nobody can kill soul. So this is a great, deeper science of soul. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for hearing patiently. Anybody has any questions, comments, devotees? We can take 1-2 questions maybe. Science of the soul. Atma Tattva. Tattva Darshibi. Okay. Thank you very much. We'll end here. Jagat Guru.